All right, we're going to get rolling. I'm Andy Rodriguez. I'm the director of St. Paul Parks and Recreation. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to your newest city park, Gateway Park. This is one of 4 at the Highland Bridge site that we're opening, and how fitting on I'll say a scorcher like today that we all get to be out here and see this park in action. We have a lot of fun things planned. We have a short program. I'll be your MC today, but we also have Third Layer here that'll do some skate demos for you all. And then we have the police department that are handing out freezies and bike helmets too if you need them. So definitely check in with them, but appreciate you guys coming out today to celebrate this new park location. With that, I will turn it over to Council Member Ward 3, Chris Tolbert.
Well, thank you, everybody. Welcome. This sure is an exciting day for Highland Park, and it's an exciting day for the city of St. Paul. I just want to pause for a second because I was thinking about it last night. The first press conference that I was ever involved with was almost 9 years to the date on this site. It was up there where there's now a building. But it was Mayor Coleman, Mike Hogan, who was then the Ford plant manager, and myself, and the 3 of us spoke on the announcement of the start of major demolition of the Ford site itself. And looking at that video, it's almost jarring to see that plant in the background compared to what we now see. And that was a bittersweet day. It was a very bittersweet day that day because we knew we were losing lots of good union jobs, and we were losing a plant that provided a lot of stability. But it was also the start of the next chapter of this piece of property. And the exciting part is once that plant came down, we didn't sit and let it idle. We led, and we decided to create the vision of this redevelopment that we wanted for our neighborhood and our city. And we first ensured that Ford took their pollution with them, which they did from this top site. That was our number one priority, is making sure that Ford took their pollution with them and took it on their own dime, not on the city or the government's dime. Then we engaged the community and set a vision for this site. We ensured that the plant got sold to a great local developer like Ryan Companies so that we could work with them and build the site that this community envisioned. And working with Ryan Companies, we were able to create a master development plan that prioritized 20% affordable housing, a vibrant mixed-use development, sustainable buildings in sight, preserving ball fields, having union jobs build these buildings, a great central water feature that's just over here, and creating 4 new parks right here on the space, including one that we're standing on right now. A site that for 100 years had very few trees, maybe around just the periphery, a site that had no parkland, a site that was almost all concrete by the end, is now going to be home to a beautiful park like this. And it's pretty amazing to stand here about 10 years later, 9 years later, after we saw that, and see the change that we have and to celebrate this as a community. And it's truly exciting to see the transformation. What I'm most excited about is seeing young people, and people of all ages, quite frankly, start to enjoy this park, start to enjoy the other parks, start to move in, both neighbors who have been in the neighborhood and new neighbors, move into this site and start calling it home. It's exciting to think about walking from the village all the way through the Central Water Feature to Hidden Falls and all the way down to Hidden Falls Park, and to see all the people on this soon-to-be vibrant space. And I can guarantee this will be the first of many openings for our city at this site, and I couldn't be more excited. So as we celebrate this site, this beautiful, beautiful site, in this great location in our great neighborhood, just on the mighty Mississippi, minutes from downtown St. Paul, minutes from downtown Minneapolis, and right by the airport. I'm excited to do this with community. This is a really exciting moment for our neighborhood. I will say, and I want to take the opportunity to thank many of the people that have helped us get to this first opening at the Highland Bridge site. And I'll start by saying, I know hundreds of thousands of people participated in this. People who just showed up to one meeting, showed up to 2 meetings, people who emailed our office, people who were involved on committees, people who put up a lawn sign in their yard about this site. Thousands of people contributed to this space and us being able to be here today, and we all truly are grateful because it took a village to get here. I do want to thank first and foremost Mayor Carter. Mayor Carter became mayor as the site was transitioning from Ford to Ryan Companies, and I have to say he prioritized right away how important this was. He dug in, he sat through meetings, he helped guide it, and we couldn't have been here without his leadership and the direction he gave his staff to lead with us. So thank you, Mayor Carter. I don't think I see him because he's pretty tall, so I would see him if he was here, but former Mayor Coleman, we have a big debt of gratitude to him for his vision and leadership for the transition of this site throughout his time as mayor. We really owe him a gratitude. My colleagues throughout the years, especially Council President Brenmoen, who has been an absolute champion to help us get this through. We're super grateful for her partnership here in Highland. Our legislative delegation, our commissioners, Deputy Mayor Tincher and former Deputy Mayor Beckman both played very important parts of being here. We had even city attorneys who helped us out. Matt Slavin and Adam Niblick. Finance folks like Mike Solomon, Jenny Wolf, and John McCarthy. We had great partners with Ryan Companies, Tony Bronco, Maureen Mikowski, and Mike Ryan. We're grateful for their partnership, and they're buying into this vision right away and working with us. Their entire team, Nick and others, and the workers who helped build this place and build this park, the union workers who helped build it. We owe our great park staff who helped design this, Andy Rodriguez, former director Mike Hom, Ellen Stewart and her entire team who helped design this. Public Works, Sean Kershaw, Director Sean Kershaw is here. Dave Keebler, who's on site every day. Planning and Economic Development Director Nicole Goodman and former Planning and Economic Development Jonathan Sage Martinson, who both played very important parts in this. We've had great planning staff and been so lucky to have people like Mike Richardson, Menica Mohan, and Merritt Clapp Smith be a part of this and help design this and work with the community. I know Merritt and Mike are here, and so we're very grateful for you. Steve Ubel and many of the other people who help regulate to make sure these buildings are safe. And Tia Anderson from the neighborhood and former district council, but now in her role here. We're very grateful for you, Tia. I've had many legislative aides that have been great. Libby Cantner and now my legislative Adam Eust. And former legislative aide and now development director in the mayor's office and one of the people helping keep everything running here on time, Melanie McMahon. And we've had a great deal of engagement and help from our neighborhood. The Highland District Council has been so important. Kathy Caruth and all the past district council presidents and members who have been so involved with this. I think every meeting from now until eternity will have a Highland Bridge thing on it, so thank you. Members of the Ford Site Task Force that wrapped up years ago now, but they were an important part for a decade of helping plan this. The Highland Bridge Park Planning Task Force, which put in a lot of time in helping design this. And the Park Commission. And I even got to give a special thank you to all the skateboarders who have been trying this place out for at least a month and a half. They've made sure it works. Really, I know I missed a lot of people. I tried to name quite a few, and I apologize if I missed you, but it really did take our entire neighborhood, a lot of city staff to get to this point. And we got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of buildings going up. I know there's townhomes, row homes, apartments, condos to sell. I know the deli is not open quite yet at Lund's, but this is an exciting day, and we should celebrate this. This is a huge transition, and I would say very few communities have taken a former auto manufacturing plant that was polluted, turned it around, and turned it into a positive green space that people are going to be able to call home, people are going to be able to recreate at, people are going to be able to make vibrant right here in our own neighborhood, and it's really exciting. So thank you everybody for being a part of this. I'm grateful to help speak and be a little bit a part of the entire thing. So thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Mayor Melvin Carter.
Thank you. Stay here, please. Good to see you. Stay here. Good afternoon. I was going to say I've been looking forward to this all week, but the truth is we've been looking forward to this for about, 15 years now. Because I remember when I first got elected to the city council, shortly after that, I got elected, came on the city council in 2008. Shortly after that, we got what felt like the absolute worst possible news imaginable. That the Ford plant that had been host to hundreds of jobs for all of our lives might be closing down pretty soon. Now, Mayor Coleman and former Councilmember Harris and a whole bunch of other folks worked hard to try to hold that off, to say we don't want that to happen. And it was a real gut punch for our city to have that happen. And I remember being in some of those meetings thinking, what could we possibly do on a site this big, this expansive, this critical, this important? How do we live up to this moment? And a lot of that time was really dictated by us as a community, sort of getting stuck behind the wall of the things that we didn't want to happen here, the things that we hoped not to see here. And let me tell you, as mayor, I'm so grateful for you, Councilmember Tolbert. I'm so grateful for former Mayor Chris Coleman. I'm so grateful for the leadership of Council President Brimmo and so many others who said, wait a minute, this is an enormous opportunity. It's too big to be defined by what we don't want. We have got to build a big vision and build the types of things that we do want here so that this can be a national case study. This process has gone for a while. I remember when I was running for mayor and someone said, we don't want to rush the process around the Ford site. And I said, well, the process is already older than my fourth grader. So I don't know that rushing it would really be possible. But here's the thing. We landed on an enormous vision for this site. We landed on an enormous concept that people around the country and around the world will look at, and actually already are looking at, for examples of how you do really good urban development. And the way we did that really wasn't just because Councilmember Tolbert is so smart, he is. It really wasn't just because Melanie's leadership is so incredible, and it is. It was because this really is a stone soup kind of development. It was because so many, and as Councilmember Tolbert, I'm so glad Councilmember Tolbert brought his list of names on the piece of paper, because I was standing there and I was going, oh, I should thank Melanie, all right, and I should thank, and we got to thank Ryan, and we got to thank Public Works, and we got to thank all the city employees. Would all the city employees in the room, please, just in the room. Outside, please wave your hand so we can clap for you. And I realized that if we were going to take a picture of all the people in this space right now, in this yard right now, who have been critical to the development of this site, well, the best way to do that would be to have these cameras come here and just take a picture of the whole group, because we've all been a part of this. This is so critical, and it's so cool. It is cool to see this park open for this grand opening. I'm very relieved that this park is opening today because people have been skating here for months now. And so we might as well open it. I was joking with Councilmember Tolbert. This is the oldest new park that we've ever opened up because people have been taking advantage of it right away, and that's what happens. That's what happens when we get outside of City Hall. That's what happens when we have leaders in our community who are smart enough to know that none of us is as smart as all of us, who are smart enough to know that the expertise in community can guide us to the biggest visions and can guide us to getting amazing things done in our community. And let me tell you this, whenever I talk to young people, I warn them about the F word, future. The word, the future. And I tell them, listen, every time you're around anybody and they say the word the future, you better listen up because they're talking about you. And either they're going to be talking about you, without you, or they're going to be talking to you. And one of the things that makes me proudest about this space, and one of the things that makes me least surprised that this space pre-grand opening is already so well utilized, is the fact that it's came about as a result of the voices of our young people in our community saying, we're going to speak up, we're going to be heard, there's something important to be had. So Luke, Theo, thank you for your leadership. I really thank you. You know, it's graduation season, and I spoke at a graduation last week, and I told a group of young people, if you wait for adults to do cool things, it'll never happen. If you wait for adults to change the world, it'll never happen. If you wait until you're 18, or wait until you graduate from high school, or wait until you go to college, or wait until after college, or wait until after that internship, or wait, then we'll just always put off the improvements that we know the world needs today. So I want to thank you for being the kind of leaders who look around your community and not do the they ought to do this, they ought to do that, but really look around your community for how we can work together to make this community a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together like they just won the Stanley Cup. Luke and Theo. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Carter, for that introduction. We would also like to thank Miss Ellen Stewart, Councilmember Tolbert, Miss Liz Karolinski, and the rest of St. Paul Parks and Recreation for allowing us to be part of this process. We would also like to thank Third Layer Skate Shop for coming out and supporting this event, and also Ryan Company for making this possible. So my name is Theo Miller, and I'm 13 years old. To my left is Luke Hanno. Luke's 14 years old. And he and I both just graduated from Highland Park Middle School a week or so ago. Woo! Luke and I have lived in Highland Park for all our lives. From a young age, we both used St. Paul parks for sports, playing with our friends, sledding, and family get-togethers. Both of us also regularly had our birthday parties at the Highland Picnic Shelter. A few years ago, we took up skateboarding. When the pandemic struck in 2020, distance learning offered us the opportunity to spend lots more time on our skateboards. One afternoon, Luke and I were skating over at Miriam Park Skate Park. We were discussing how inconvenient it was to have someone drive us to the park and pick us up afterward. We mentioned this to my parents on the car ride home. We expressed our frustration about not having any skate parks right in Highland Park. My dad mentioned that they were planning to build parks and green spaces down at the Ford site. He suggested that we reach out to the planning committee and propose that they put a skate park in. At the time, Luke and I were only 11 and 12 years old, so we weren't exactly sure where to start. After talking with our families, we came up with a plan. We went online and researched the project, and who was involved in the planning. We were able to identify Ellen Stewart as one of the people involved in the planning and development for the site. We sent her an email informing her about our idea for the skate park at the site. Ms. Stewart told us that they had an up-and-coming planning meeting and we could present to them our idea as a skate park during the meeting. So we put together a slideshow which contained information about skate parks in general and positive aspects that skate parks bring to communities. We also used this meeting as an opportunity to answer any specific questions regarding our idea. A few months later, we received an email containing the news that a skate park was going to be included in the development. Later, we attended a second meeting where we were able to see the plans for the skate park and the Ford site as a whole.
From the very beginning of this process, the question that we were asked the most frequently is what benefits can a skate park offer to our neighborhood? We believe that the most important aspect of a skate park is that it builds communities by offering a place for families and people of all ages and backgrounds to come together. Skateboarding doesn't require a lot of expensive equipment, so it is accessible to people in all economic circumstances. It is great exercise and it gets people outside and away from a screen. This is something we could all use, especially considering the events of the past couple of years. In fact, as things began to open back up after the pandemic, skateboarding was one activity that young people could participate in and still follow social distancing recommendations. A skate park is also a great place to make friends. Both Theo and I have made many new friendships at different skate parks, and those friendships have stayed with us to this day. Another positive aspect of a skate park is that it provides a teaching space where more experienced skaters can act as mentors for younger people. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that learning a new trick requires hard work and discipline, which are skills that can be applied in other areas of one's life. So in closing, we hope that this skate park will be enjoyed for years to come, not only by people from this neighborhood, but from the surrounding areas as well. We hope to see many of you out here from time to time getting together with old friends and making some new friends along the way. Theo and I will both be skating the park following the ribbon cutting, and we would be more than happy to offer some pointers to any council members or mayors who might like to join us out there. Thank you.